Well, sure would be a shame if you fly all the way to Miami, do all the sprint qualifying only to crash on the way to the grid. That would be a shame. Sure would be a shame. Not Charles Leclerc though, he would never do that. He's way too good for that. Never, never, never gonna happen to Charles Leclerc. Fuck, whoops, shit, it's already happened. That's a real shame. Well, you know what? These things happen. Hello, welcome to the 2025 F1 season on this channel, Turn15. How are you going? Miami, round 6. It's been a while since I've done one of these actually, been quite a while. I've been travelling and I've been sick, and now it seems I'm finally back. Looks like all our tech issues are sorted as well, which is absolutely fantastic because it looks like it's going to be a great race today. Which is weird to say because we are in Miami. I think there's another word that comes after those words, but I forget what it could be. We're in Miami today. Jensen Button on the grid, about 20 minutes, 16 minutes to the sprint start, so let's have some fun. Charles Leclerc, not going to be having some fun today. He's already crashed on the way to the grid. Whoops, Sergio Perez had it, Logan Sargent had it, so, it happens to the best. Just one of those things. Absolutely pissing down as well, which is why he's sent it into the wall. Ooh, it looks like he's actually made it. No, that's not him at all. Of course he didn't make it. He parked up on the side of the track. Derp. Yeah, you can tell it's late o'clock for me as well. Right, lots to get into, because I've been away for the whole start of the championship. Not that I haven't been watching the races, in fact, I've been attending 2 of them, and let me tell you, Australia, miserable experience. Amazing race, absolutely dog shit experience, and I think that might be the end of me going to the AusGP. Suzuka, amazing experience. Really boring race. At least that's what I heard from people who watched it on TV. I don't know, when you're at the track and you're there and you're smelling the cars and you're seeing the cars and you're feeling the cars as they go by and they rumble the ground and all of that shit, it's just brilliant. There is no such thing as a boring F1 race when you're there live, and I recommend it if you ever get the chance. It's fantastic either way. Suzuka, fantastic place. What a place. What a place. What a track. Amazing. What else did we have? We had 3 other races. We had China with the sprint as well. Hamilton getting a win. Didn't see that coming. Didn't happen again. Because he got disqualified the next day as well. Finishing well off the pace as well of Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc, who had a broken front wing as well, and was still outpacing him. Anyway, there's plenty to get through. I think I might do a quick catch-up stream and really go through everything here. Unless we get a red flag for the start of this race, in which case I'll just start going through anything. As always, send in your chats if you got anything you'd like to know, anything you're pondering, any opinion, any joke. I don't really mind, I'll read anything. So, today, let's get to business. Kimi Antonelli is on pole. Amazing. 6th race for Mercedes, and he's already on a sprint pole. That's fantastic. Piastri 2nd, Norris 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Russell 5th, Leclerc did qualify 6th, he's not going to start. Hamilton 7th, Albon 8th, Hadjar 9th, Alonso 10th. Hulk 11th. It's actually pretty decent out of Hulkenberg. Ocon, Gasly, Lawson, Sainz, who I think didn't... What was it? I think his lap got disallowed yesterday in sprint quali, which is why he's 15th, and then Stroll doing Bortoletto, Behrman, and Tsunoda is starting from the pit lane. He qualified 18th anyway, so you may as well start from the pits. If you're that far down, maybe you could do something with a setup. Maybe anything could happen, who knows. Tsunoda's been okay in that seat so far. Not spectacular, but not awful. Actually, that's one thing I want to get into really quick. Liam Lawson was about to be announced, the last time I did one of these live streams, Liam Lawson was about to be announced as the Red Bull second driver, replacing Sergio Perez. Anybody remember him? In fact, it's been a year, almost to the day, that Sergio Perez got his last F1 podium, and it was at the sprint race here. It's not quite a podium, really, but it's something. It's a top 3. His last top 3 finish was here a year ago. Wow, and he might actually be back next year as well, is what I'm hearing. Sergio Perez to Cadillac, watch this space. I think I said it last year or at some point. Either way, I'm pretty sure Sergio Perez, Cadillac, Joe Guan Yu, Cadillac, probably that lineup. It makes a lot of sense. Colton Herta, I just don't see it anymore. I'm not seeing it. And from what I'm hearing, it's all going quiet on the Colton Herta front. So that's a shame, but you know, them's the breaks, and F1's loss is IndyCar's gain. So yeah, might end up seeing Checo back after all. You never know. He's not actually doing anything this year. He's taking a little bit of a break from racing. Not a really big fan of recycling a lot of old guys, especially guys who have had a lot of years in the sport already, who are not world champion material. Alonso, I think, has earned a stay. Hamilton has earned his extended stay, but yeah, guys like Sergio Perez, Nico Hulkenberg. I mean, okay, Nico Hulkenberg's delivering goods still. You know, he's only my age, so he's not exactly a pensioner yet. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look at Antonelli up there. Look at Piastri up there. That's what she said. Hadjar, ninth as well on the grid. There's a lot of talent. Holy shit, it's Esteban Gutierrez. Wow, speaking of pasta Mexicans. There's a lot of talent on the grid who are brand new. And I like seeing that sort of stuff filter through. So hearing talk of Sergio Perez coming back, he's had like 14 seasons of the sport already. I think that's enough. That's a good. He's had at least 14 seasons in Formula One. Was it 15 in the end? My maths isn't working at this hour of the day. He's had a lot of seasons. He's had wins. He's had podiums, poles, a lot of it. That's a career. That's a full career. You don't need to bring Daniel Ricciardo back either. You know what I mean? And I love that guy. I mean, look at this. But maybe sometimes it's best to just let these dead horses just stay beaten on the ground and just leave them alone. Either way. What else have we got going on in the news? Engines number 9. Engines talk is going kind of crazy right now. There was talk last year. Was it last year or 23? But Red Bull were simulating in tracks with not a lot of chance for harvesting. So basically, the way that the engine gets electrical energy, because it's a hybrid, isn't it? The way it gets electrical energy, in layman's terms, is when it harvests energy, which is when it takes a little bit of heat energy off the engine, like off the exhaust and stuff, and it takes brake energy. So when the cars are hard on the brakes, it can convert that into energy. I don't know, fucking science magic, fucking magnets, basically, is how it works. But on tracks like Monza, where there's not a lot of braking zones, not a lot of places to harvest, and a lot of time spent full throttle on the engine, they're simulating that it could get quite fucky at places like that. Now, there's been a couple of solutions floated so far that they're going to have to basically mess with the power output of the engine, so it would be 200 kilowatts instead of 350 like they'd envisioned, and all sorts of shit like this. Basically, the FIA is still once again dick in its hand when it comes time to fuck, and they're just like, I don't know what to do with this. It's a running thing with the FIA. I've seen it many times over the years, and this is no different. But another solution that was floated, I figured almost comically, was bringing back V10s, which is one of those things that sounds good in theory until you realize it's kind of like being in your 40s and genuinely considering chasing after your high school sweetheart. Because, hey, how could it not be as good as it was back then, right? Like, the V10s sound great, but put those engines in these gigantic, overweight cars, and I just don't see it being any good. I think they were fantastic, a bit like Metallica. It was great in the 80s, or shall we say, I don't know, maybe Pantera. It was great in the 90s. It was lovely in the 90s to hear. You don't need to dig it up again and to have it replayed again, because it's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as good. The sport's moved on, technology's moved on, all of that sort of shit's moved on. So thankfully all of that talk has died, because I think if you were to genuinely bring back V10s, there goes Audi as well, there goes Honda, probably there goes Mercedes as well, and then you just kind of, again, being the FIA, stuck with your dick in your hand when it's time to fuck, going, I don't know. Now, what else has happened in the news? Jack Doohan might end up being out after 6 rounds. After all, there's a lot of talk about this when over the off season, and I was hearing rumors of this at the end of last year, but it actually came true. So how about that? Franco Colapinto was signed by Alpine, and he's going to race for them, essentially. That's basically what that means. They've had to pay, I'm not sure exactly what it is. I've heard numbers like over $10 million to buy him out of his Williams contract. I don't believe it would have been that high, but they would have had to pay something to get him out of there. So you don't pay that kind of money without actually putting him in a race seat. It just doesn't make any sense, and he's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of sponsors, which is something that Doohan doesn't really have behind him. He's got a lot of sponsors who are willing to throw a lot of money at Alpine if they just put him in a race seat. And given Jack's start of the season, where it's been flashes of speed, but not a lot else. Big crash in Suzuka as well. Big crash, actually. Hit the wall at turn 1, and I was standing around turn between 4 and 5. I could hear it from there. I could feel it from there. It was a big fucking hit. Yeah. So, not... And that was another bit of a disaster weekend for Jack Doohan. So, crashed, lap 1, I think it was, when he finally got going in Australia. Totally wrote off his weekend in Suzuka. Had flashes of speed in China, between all the penalties that he picked up. He's not really made an overwhelming case. It's a bit like Ricciardo at AlphaTauri last year. He's not really made an overwhelming case to be put in the seat or to retain this sort of a seat. So I get the feeling it's probably going to be the end. You never know. You never know. And the biggest thing of that is Flavio Briatore is still running Alpine, so you never know what the fuck they could do. They could do anything. But I get the feeling that might be the end of Jack. Anyway, is there any other news that's gone on? I feel like Isaac Hadjar's been doing well, actually. He's been doing great. He's really been doing great, except for Australia, where he crashed on the warm-up lap. Which is a shame, but, as we've seen with Charles Leclerc, you add enough water and anything could happen, even to the best of them. So, Lawson, of course. I'm talking about Red Bull drivers. Lawson's out. 2 races in the Red Bull, 2 terrible races, really, in the Red Bull, and then he's gone. Well, 2.5, really, because China was the sprint. And he's done. He's out. He's back to AlphaTauri, and, I think I said it before the season started. I just was not convinced that he was really going to do anything in that seat. I mean, a part of the reason he got put in that seat is because he was never going to beat Max Verstappen. And, I mean, Yuki's done an okay job in that seat so far. Okay. That car just seems cursed, though. Actually, Max is running a new floor this weekend, so we'll see if that does anything to help out Red Bull, because from what I've heard, from what I've seen, that car is just a bit of a disaster. It's very quick when it works just right, and it has to work absolutely perfectly or else it doesn't work at all. It's like a German tank. Everything has to be absolutely perfect. You get one thing wrong, totally fucking nightmare. McLaren have had a great car, like I thought that they would this year. Ferrari have absolutely gone backwards, which has been a big surprise and a big shame as well, because I predicted Leclerc could well be the champion this year, and it's not going to fucking happen. There's still 18 races to go after this weekend. 18 Grand Prix, that is. But I'm already not seeing it. The thing is, this is a very strange year as well. Oh, the sprint's starting in just a couple of minutes as well. Lovely. It's a bit of a strange year as well, because with the rule reset coming next season, everyone's going to kind of start... they're going to turn off the development taps, basically. They're going to turn off the taps to development, and it just depends on exactly when they're going to do it. Williams, I think, have already turned it off. They say... they've already said themselves that they're going to bring maybe like plasters, band-aid fixes to any problem that the car has this year, because basically it's over. Like, they've developed that car. Well, they shut out whatever this thing is, and that's basically all they're gonna run. A bit like Haas was doing in 2021, actually, when they didn't do anything to their car, and they fell right to the back very, very quickly. It's a bit of a balancing act. I think if you're at a team that isn't going for a world championship, like Red Bull, like maybe Mercedes, or like McLaren, you probably want to switch the development off very quick and then just get a head start on whatever you can do next year. So just going through the grid now. I think I've already done that, so whatevs. Now, what else is going on today? I suppose the other thing I want to touch on before the race is what in the world is going on with Lando Norris. Now, he was a great start in Australia. It was a pretty rubbish race in China. He got beaten by Max Verstappen, but it wasn't like a massive beatdown. It was just one of those magic Max moments, I guess. The last two races, though, he's really been shown the way by Oscar Piastri. I mean, he was shown the way in China as well, but definitely the last couple of races, he was really, really shown the way, and it's been messy. He starts third on the grid today, which isn't, awful. It's not like he's doing a Checo and starting fucking 18th or whatever, but or a Yuki. But he's gonna want to cut that sort of shit out. Like, a champion needs to be winning races and racking and stacking points, and I really thought Norris could and probably should have been racking and stacking wins. I mean, he's still getting podiums, which is great, but I mean, he's got one win now, just the one. Piastri's already got 3. Verstappen's got a win. So, I mean, if he wants to be, and there he is, and that's a lovely helmet that he's got this weekend. Good grief, that looks fantastic. A bit of a disco ball. If he wants to be a world champion, he's going to have to sort of turn that shit around. Alan Jones has even been clowning on him in the week, saying that he's mentally weak and probably not going to be a world champion. Piastri will beat him to it, all that sort of fun stuff. So, I mean, it's very early to be calling this sort of stuff. We've only had 5 rounds done. We've not even qualified for the 6th one yet, except for the sprint bollocks, which, may I say, the grid has just gone green for the warm-up lap. So, already, they are not red flagging the start, which is absolutely fantastic. When I saw how hard it was raining, 20 minutes ago, I was convinced that they might end up red flagging the start, or at least delaying it, but no, it looks like we are going to get a proper race start. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Oh, and I guess also just quickly, Miami, I think it was yesterday or the day before it got announced that it's been extended its stay on the calendar. It's going to be here till at least 2041, which, God, I wish that they would maybe have designed, if a track is going to be here for that long and we have to watch it every fucking year, then I wish that they would have maybe made a little bit more of a fun track. Because, I'll be honest, this one's kind of arse. I can't remember us having a wet race here, though, before. I think this is the first time, which is kind of weird because Miami throws out a lot of rain, just in general, so... I mean, it's that part of the world, isn't it? So, we'll see what this does. Could be fun. It could be a fun race, actually, if it's wet. I mean, Australia was very wet. That was a wet race, and the experience of being there was absolutely fucking miserable. And I mean, somewhere between digging a grave for your dead dog and going full Jack Nicholson and freezing in a maze level of atmosphere. It was absolutely dog shit. One thing that happened at Albert Park that I've never experienced before, and I've been to a lot of these races as well. Well, Piastri is complaining about the visibility. Big river in turn 10. I wonder if he's trying to get the start delayed. When they send messages like that, what they're really saying is, race director, listen to this. You got to follow my advice. It's not great, I think the team can tell that there's a lot of rain and shit like that. I mean, anybody with brains can tell that there's a lot of fucking rain, but what they're saying is, oh, it looks like we're doing a safety car start after all. How about that? So... Now, I'm not sure what the protocol is for a sprint. That's Verstappen. On board with Verstappen is going very squirrely at the hairpin and then coming around to... Has he had like a little off going into the hairpin? What is this? A replay? He's looking behind and he has gone off. He's gone off a little bit. Oh, he's gone right off at the hairpin. It looks like he's... So where is he now? It still says that he's fourth. Okay. But he's riding behind Hamilton right now on track. Now, if they are going to do a proper grid start, then he's going to have to go past a couple of cars here to get back into fourth place. Wait. Antonelli saying that he can't see anything behind the safety car. Yeah. It's a shame with modern F1, and this isn't even so much the tires. It's just the downforce of the cars, especially the ground effect cars. It brings so much water off the track. Like the spray is just insane. It's not so much the rain hitting the visor or anything like that. Starting procedure suspended. All right, there it is. So we are after delayed start. Here we go. It's not so much that that there's too much rain like falling on their visors or anything like that. It's just the spray blinds these guys. And if you've ever... V10's probably necessitates refueling too, which would fuck the sport more than Pirelli have. Incorrect. Nobody could or would fuck the sport as much as Pirelli have. Refueling... you know what? They probably have to do it like big fat... I mean, that's part of where all the massive weight comes from with these cars, having to fill them up fat full of fuel, but yeah, I think V10s are just fucking retarded. I think it's a stupid thing. It's a stupid thing, and it deserves to be left in the past, I think. Anyway. So, red flag. Shit. What was I saying just a couple of minutes ago? That, like, I was so happy that we weren't going to get a red flag, and now we will. So it's 5 past the hour. It's sprint race, for the love of God. Now watching a red flag. You know, a red flag isn't that bad at Monza because it usually means there's Tifosi around. Well, whatever. Let's fill some time, shall we? Stroll having a problem with his visor. That's a shame. Well, he'll be able to fix that now. As all the cars come back into the pits. Yeah. So, anyway. Where were we? Yeah, Alan Jones, I was saying. Lando Norris needs to get his shit together. Alan Jones was clowning on him, saying that he's mentally weak. Maybe too mentally weak to be a champion. I'm not sure I really agree with that. Lando tends to get down every now and then. Lewis does that too, you know. It's a personal thing, isn't it? Even Seb would get down every now and then. Seb Vettel came out swinging in defense of Lando. Swinging in defense of him, just saying, you know, it's a sign of strength. He thinks that he can talk so freely and openly about himself and be so honest, and, you know. I mean, really the only thing that matters is if he's racking and stacking wins. Can we change the headrest? I'm way too far back, says Verstappen, and they're changing the headrest for him. Yeah, that's fine. Bit of a nothing there. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of rain. And it's sitting on the ground, and the worst thing about a track like this is there's very little drainage. There's nowhere really for the rain to go. So it will just kind of sit on the road, and all you can do is just send cars around. And I kind of wish that they would do this, but maybe they're worried about running all these guys dry of fuel if they just have to circle for 12, 15 formation laps before they can actually get it going again. Yeah, it's always the spray that's the issue. It's like getting behind. Yeah, if you've ever been driving in the rain on a highway or something and get behind like a big semi trailer, a truck, and it just blinds you. It's like doing that, but at 300 k's an hour. It's wouldn't imagine it's the most fun thing in the world. Speaking of fun things of the world, there's Fernando Alonso. So here we go. This is on board. Alright, so this is Lewis Hamilton's visor cam. So he's kind of staying out of the spray there, but we'll see when he pulls back onto the line, if he does, if we're going to see that. Not really going to see that, are we? Oh, big moment. What's that, into the hairpin? Bit like what Max did. Not quite as far out as Max, though, and that's just when they'd already thrown the red flag in coming into the pits. What can you do? Anyway, while we're waiting, because there's no word of when we're going to get going again. Antonelli on pole has been very, very surprising. And I don't mean surprising because I wasn't expecting it at some point. I think that kid is just loaded with talent, but I really wasn't expecting it yesterday, you know? I mean, he really does look good. He does look the business, and he's been very close to George Russell already. So, it's been very refreshing to see, and this is what I was saying just before. You know, they could have recycled a Daniel Ricciardo or a Valtteri Bottas or whatever in that seat, and they went for Antonelli, and he's only just turned 18 years old, and he's already delivering. So maybe a little bit more faith in the youth would be so untoward, you know. Unless that youth apparently is Liam Lawson. There he is, talking to an engineer in a rather fetching pink race suit. Now he was out so quick, and I wasn't really expecting that. And I know Honda probably had more to do with that, because race 3 at Suzuka was Yuki Tsunoda's home race. The irony being, not a lot of Japanese, when I was over there, not a lot of Japanese people really gave a shit, because there's a guy called Shohei Ohtani who's sort of taking every bit of Japanese media over there. I mean, they love baseball, and he just won the World Series with the Dodgers, and their season has just started, so you can imagine the whole country's going absolutely apeshit for it. Not that Yuki has no support, but it definitely was overshadowed, shall we say. But anyway, I'm getting way off track here. Liam Lawson getting chucked after 2 races. It was very cruel. I think it was more of a course correction. I don't think he should have got the seat to begin with. I think it should have been Tsunoda's anyway to begin with, but for whatever reason, they gave it to Liam Lawson, and they've had to swallow whatever pride that they've got left. Wait. Yeah. They've had to swallow whatever pride they've got left, and they've had to put Yuki in the seat. And I mean, at the very least, he scored, I think, a point in that seat, so that's nice. It's just a bit of radar, a little bit more rain on the way. Well, we'll see if we even get this race underway. You'd hope so, because the tickets at Miami are fucking expensive. I couldn't imagine how shit it would be to sit through a whole bunch of deluge and then not even see the racing. Oh wait, no, I can't imagine that, because that's kind of what Albert Park was this year. I tell you, that was a hell of a thing. In fact, I'm just gonna rant about that for a little bit. I think Albert Park is, if you're wondering about going to a Grand Prix, probably avoid Melbourne, at least for the next few years. Getting tickets is insane. It is hugely overpriced right now. I mean, F1 in general has always been very expensive for tickets, but just a replay, that's a big hit for Charles Leclerc. Yeah, no wonder he's out of that race. That was a big hit. Just straight into the wall on that curved bit of straight before, what turn would that be? About 9-10ish. Yeah, that thing's fucked. Absolutely fucked. They should be able to fix that thing for qualifying for the actual Grand Prix, but that car is fucking done. That's a real shame. That's a real shame. Now, Albert Park. It was lovely about 10, 12 years ago when I was going to the race. You could just rock up on race day, ticket please, bam, and then you get in. Nice general admission because it was popular. It's always been popular and, busy, but reasonably busy and popular. You could generally find a decent place to watch the race, even if you had a general admission ticket. But my God, it's good to see in that the event now is very, I'm not even sure if it's profitable. I'm not sure if it's profitable even, because it's so bloody expensive to put on. But so many people are going, and it's at the point now. It's just sardines. It's absolutely fucking overcrowded. It's really overcrowded, and the price of just food, drinks, whatever. Even compared to other sport events where you're expecting to pay more for anything, it just takes the piss. It really, really, really does. It was fucking hot Friday. Way, way, way too hot on Saturday. Like 36, 37 degrees or something in the end. Just brutally hot. And then Sunday, well, everything got rained out. I think saw a little bit of the F3. F2 didn't happen. V8s didn't happen. Too much rain, couldn't do it. And then just ended up huddling under one of the only bits of shelter around the entire fucking track. Because you can't go under the grandstands or anything. Just near where the swimming pool is, next to Albert Park Circuit, there was like a bit of an undercover, and that filled up very quick as well. We're all just huddling there, and I'm telling you, it was cold, and it wasn't just rain; it was a fucking storm. What came through, and it was cold, and it was miserable, and it's the cars went through lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, and I've never seen this before at Albert Park. They went through, the whole field would go through, and then once they've disappeared, you could hear a fucking pin drop. Everybody was just frozen, Jack Nicholson style, to their seat, just shivering, just is fucking miserable. Wow, I paid how many hundreds of dollars for this seat? Fuck. So yeah, the good thing is the race itself is great. It really was a fun race, but everything else about that experience was absolutely miserable. And I saw as well, even when they're doing the podium, when they were doing the podium at the end of the race, and there was another shower come through, we were leaving the track at that point, and we're walking up towards St Kilda Road, just at the exit of, turn 6 on the track. There's a gate there, and walking up, and that rain was just insane. Like that was a proper storm that came through. I think the 3rd or the 4th of that day, but that really, really took the piss. Like really hard rain, big gale winds as well. Like it was yeah, it wasn't fun. And I hate to be one of those assholes that like gets to experience seeing this sport and then complains about it, but that genuinely was a fucking miserable time. It's like on a fire festival, it's not great. It's not really great. It's not really fun. Oh, here we go. Sprint will start at 25 local time. Lovely. So we're about 8 minutes away from restarting. Fantastic. Looks like there's a little bit of a window, so we might actually get some racing in after all. Thanks for sticking with me. I tell you, red flags are just... I hated them when I was just watching this sport, If I'm streaming watch-alongs as well, it's just fucking brutal, so cheers for sticking around. Again, if you got anything, if you're still there, if you got anything that you want to throw my way, please feel free. There's race control. So it looks like there's another storm cell on the way. It's another replay. Leclerc crashing. Yeah, couldn't really do anything about that. Bless him. Oh, that was a big... I think something cleared the fence there, actually. I think he's absolutely slammed something off the car and it's cleared the fence. Actually, Ferrari is an interesting case that I want to talk about real quick. I don't... Hey, I know you. You're from Blackpink. I don't know why they would change the car as much as they did. So basically Ferrari, at the end of last year, it was great. They were winning races, and I mean plural. They won COTA, they won Mexico. They were very competitive everywhere else. It looked good. It looked good. I think Charles Leclerc outscored everybody from nearly half... I think I remember hearing, like, Leclerc was very competitive. He was never in the false championship fight that Lando was in, but he wasn't that far behind. In fact, if Ferrari hadn't have gone so off the boil at in the middle of the season when they put that new floor on the car and it just wrecked it, they really could have been featuring in something of a championship fight, even if it was only a pretend one. Which I said all last year, Max has too high of a head start and it's never going to happen. So, but it was good. It was a good. It was a good car. Fundamentally, it was a good car and it worked, and they understood it and they figured out how to make this thing competitive and how to turn it into a winner. And then they launched the fucking car this year, and the suspension at the front has changed, and the wheelbase has changed, which you expect. Every generation of cars is going to change things, you know. Every year of cars, you change one thing for another. But this is a weird season. It's a weird season because everybody's got to turn off, like I was saying just before, everyone's got to turn off the development tap at some point and then focus on 2026. And a lot of guys have already done it. I'm pretty sure Haas have already done it. Aston Martin, all Adrian Newey is doing at Aston Martin is focusing on 2026. Doesn't give a shit about this year. It doesn't matter. Williams have been very open with, they've already thrown, like, that's it. 2025 is done. Anything that comes onto the car now is incidental or maybe another Lego brick part. It's done. And I don't know why, if you were Ferrari, you would change something as fundamental as the suspension and then have to figure it out in a year like this, when you've really only got half of a season to chase a championship. Because if you're out of it by like round 9-10, you're done. Like, just switch off. They were close. They were really on the brink of something, I think, last year. They were really, really close to the brink of a championship fight. They've definitely got the drivers for it. They've absolutely got the drivers for it. It's a big shame. It's a shame because I was really keen on seeing Charles Leclerc in a proper championship fight. Because he hasn't really been in one at all since 2022, and even that one fell apart spectacularly. It's a shame, but, you know, now we have to wait. You know, if you're a Red fan, we'll have to wait again to see what he can do next year. Maybe there'll be a bit more luck. Everyone's kind of throwing in for next year as well. Cadillac is joining the grid as well next year. Audi will be actually on the grid next year. I'll tell you, they got to want to really do something with that car. They got to hope that their engine's good because, I mean, I'm seeing Sauber, and they don't look great. Hulkenberg, he's still solid. He's still solid. I know I complain about him being on the grid, but it's just more like a, what's the word? It's more like almost a proxy. Like, I like seeing new guys come in, and just seeing somebody who's already been on the grid for many, many, many years and still not achieved a podium. Could have, maybe with a bit of better luck or, you know, whatever, but definitely good enough to achieve a podium, I think, but I don't know. Either way, I think Audi's drivers are definitely good enough, but that team is still in a lot of trouble, and I'm not really convinced. I keep hearing things like Audi are on the brink. Like, they're not doing great. They might pull out. They're still really toe in, toe out. with their commitment to the sport and things like that, and you can't half-ass this thing because you'll just get exposed immediately. Like, you really have to commit. If you got an F1 team, you absolutely have to commit. I mean, look at Alpine. They've been dicking around with their commitment, and now the engine's going, and sprint will start at 12:28 local time. Sweet, so in about 5 minutes time. Lovely. I mean, you look at Alpine, and they're still taking the piss, which is why they've never come close to a championship fight or properly winning races. They had that one kind of gimme win of Ocon at Hungary in 2021, and that was it, and they haven't looked even close to winning a race since then. Which again is a shame, because that team's won championships in the past. Okay, that was a long time ago. There's been a lot of stuff go through there ever since, but you know, it's what happens when you don't, especially if you're a manufacturer and you don't fully back your program. Hey, there's Bottas, lovely mullet. When you don't fully back the program, you will fall behind basically immediately, and it is so difficult to get back on track. I mean, just look at Mercedes now. They fell behind. They're still trying to get back on top. Here we go. Medical car, absolutely sending it around some corners here. Really having fun in that car. Good grief, look at him go. Now, the good thing about Miami is there is a lot of rain, but it's also very warm there, so it's not so much that the track will drain, but it will just dry up quite quickly. It's just that part of the world, and it's the tropics. It's always very hot, very humid, and often very wet. Oh my fucking god, okay. I just thought somebody had totally beached it. I was trying to figure out which car that was for a split second. I saw all the pink on that show car and I thought, oh my god, a Toro Rosso's ended up in the harbour. Goodness. Okay. So, what have we got, about 2.5 minutes till... Okay, so Sonoda is taking the grid on the start. Okay then. Sprint will start at 12:28 local time, so in about 2.5 minutes time. Fucking lovely. Here we go. I mean, honestly, this thing should have been fucking done by now, so thank you again for sticking with us. It's absolutely brutal, some of these red flags. Now, what else have I got to talk about? Just quickly. No more rain expected currently. That's Ocon's radio. Might finish on slicks, he says. You know, that's actually going to be a very big thing. If the track is drying as quick as this, we will have pit stops in this sprint. We will have actual, proper pit stops in the sprint, which I think happened, at Spa a couple of years ago, from memory? It was a wet sprint race, but I can't remember it happening anywhere else. So, you know, this just turns into who can pick their moment. Essentially, that's it. Just who can pick their moment. And this is where the race is going to be won or lost today. I was thinking if it was a dry race, basically there's the first corner, and then maybe the first couple of times through the end of lap hairpin, and that would decide the race. If you get a DRS gap, then basically it's over. But fuck, I tell you, if it's all down the pits and you've got guys running close together like Piastri and Norris, it's going to be very interesting. You can't really pit these guys if they're running too close together without sacrificing one or the other. So that's going to be very interesting. And this is another thing I want to touch on, probably the last thing before we go racing. I was going on last year a lot about, especially when papaya rules was being bandied about during the Hungarian Grand Prix last year, and just sort of onwards from there. I was saying a lot about the dynamic between Piastri and Norris is going to be very interesting. Very interesting, because it is going to decide potentially the championship if the car is good enough to start competitively enough to probably win the championship, then you have a Mercedes 14, 15, 16 style situation where basically your team is the only one, well, the McLaren team rather, is the only one that's seriously going to challenge for the championship, which means there's only really two protagonists. And if they're teammates, it can get very, very, very spicy. Piastri's really stepped up his game this year as well. Really, really stepped up his game. Very, very happy to see it for him. Lando stepped off his game a little bit. Having a little bit more trouble with this car compared to what he was doing in the car last year. So, I mean, this could be, as Antonelli has now just started, and he leaves the pit lane, and here we go. So, on to the formation lap from the pits. Here we go. Anyway, the McLaren fight is going to be very, very interesting. Now, Verstappen is he's still sort of figuring in the championship. I'm expecting him, if Red Bull can't find a fix to their setup window struggles, basically, like the car will just chew through its tires, essentially, and it's very, very, very unstable in the corners. It's very unpredictable. That's why Checo, Lawson, even Tsunoda now, they're all having so much trouble with it because it has a tiny, tiny, tiny little window in which it can work. And Max, basically, he's a 4-time champion for a reason. He can just magic that car into doing what he wants, generally. Not all the time, but generally. Especially on tracks that really suit it. Something like Suzuka, where a driver can really make a difference. So we'll see what Red Bull can do, but I get the feeling, unless Mercedes can really unearth something on their car, and they are competitive to a point, not enough to be a solid thorn. Maybe they're like an afterthought for McLaren, but they're definitely not like a... And I know that Antonelli's on pole today, but they don't look like a serious threat to a championship, I'll put it that way. Maybe they'll sneak a win or two. Or three. Who knows? But they're not a genuine championship contender yet. Maybe they'll get there this year. Maybe they won't. Ferrari basically fucking out of it, I think, already. So it comes down to McLaren and it comes down to Piastri and Norris. And it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see who gets this over the line. Verstappen saying the conditions are raceable. Now, are they going to go for another formation lap? I get the feeling they will. Yeah, it looks quite dry now. Looks very dry. There's still a bit of moisture there, but it's mostly dry. That's what she said. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see where this goes. Now, is there enough animosity brewing between them? Because last year, I tell you, Piastri was being a bit of a cheeky fuck. Bit of a cheeky cunt in Monza. For instance, when Lando was going for the championship and then he just kind of dive-bombed him around the outside of the second chicane on the first lap and really fucked Lando up there. And that was after the whole Hungary give back and all of that. And then there was, what race was it, where it was sort of, will he, won't he give him the sprint win? I think it was Brazil. You know, that I think I can see a little bit of friction there. I really can. And it's going to be very interesting. If Piastri comes in and he can get this over the line, then what happens to Norris after that? You know, basically everyone will just start selling their Norris coin. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's fucked. It's going to the ground. Buy a Piastri coin. It's going to the moon. I tell you, if Piastri can get that championship over the line, then well done, lad. Well done, because I really was not predicting that this year. I really wasn't. I was thinking Norris, I was thinking maybe Leclerc, I was thinking maybe Verstappen, Piastri maybe 4th or, God, maybe even 5th on my list of potential winners, which shows what I know. It's really, really been surprising. Really has been. Really upped his game. Getting it nailed in qualifying. What was his pass last a couple of weeks ago in Jeddah as well, around the outside of Hamilton? Just absolutely like non-spaghetti, you know, chef's kiss to that. That was fantastic. That's the kind of shit that a champion will do. That is the kind of stuff that a champion will do in a championship season. He will make magic happen like that. And it's fantastic to see. It's fantastic for us to see, and it's fantastic for him to do. Now, they're just coming up to the last chicane. Is this going to be the race start? Sounds like it definitely will be the race start. Here we go. So Antonelli's coming around. Both the McLarens very, very close. Now, one thing is, I think a lot of people have already written off Lando as a series championship contender, and I'm not sure why. Even if he gets beaten in this race today, I think it's so early to be calling stuff like that. It's so early. He's definitely in the fight. I mean, that's quite clear. He's definitely in the championship fight, but we'll see. If he doesn't manage to pick up another, if he doesn't manage to pick up another win by Silverstone, then you could probably really ask questions like, this guy might actually be fucked. He might actually be cooked, but if he can pick up a couple more wins, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monaco, maybe Canada, you know, he's right back on track, and then all of this weak mentality nonsense can get thrown out. It's all in his hands. He just has to nail it. He has to get down and nail the shit. So here we go. Yuki Tsunoda has gone to the grids. They're pulling up. Final cars getting in position. On board with Max. Okay, the light's about to go out now. We're about to actually get this fucking thing started and underway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights out. Here we go. Decent. Oh, very sluggish. It's a wet start, isn't it? Piastri's coming at Antonelli already. He's going to send it. It's very, very close between them. Antonelli's off track already. Piastri takes the lead. Antonelli down to 4th now. So Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a real shame for Antonelli. Real shame there. Ah, that is a real shame. Now Russell's right on his ass as well. Well, that's a shame, but, you know, that's 18-year-olds for you. That's rookies for you, isn't it? Antonelli, he pushed me off. You know, that's one thing, actually, I probably should have got into in all of that red flag malarkey, is the whole Piastri's turn 1 manners, shall we say. He's a very forceful driver. He will just throw it up the inside of somebody and just see what they do, you know. And I'm not saying that Max was absolutely innocent, but I will say, I think Piastri, did he push him off? Sort of, kind of, maybe. What is a pass? You know, there's a bit of a philosophical debate maybe to be had about how he goes racing, but it's effective. It works. It worked in Saudi and it's worked here. So Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, Lawson up 5 places. Wow, and Hadjar down 1 in 10th. And Stroll, 11th. Another good start out of Lance Stroll. He does it a lot, and I've brought that up before. He really can start these cars. Could start these cars like he was a mechanic. Right. God, just look at the spray as well. Good grief. So starting lap 4 now. Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, Lawson, Hadjar, Stroll, Ocon, Sainz, Gasly, Hulk, Bearman, Tsunoda, then Doohan and Bortoletto. Bringing up the rear. Charles Leclerc, of course, did not start this race. And look at Piastri, already nearly 2 seconds ahead. So this is the this is just the exploratory sort of start of the race, especially in conditions like this. Now, the thing is, there's not that much time to get anything done in a sprint, which is kind of why I don't really like these things. there's not a lot of time to get anything done. So 2 seconds on Norris already. That's a bit. That's quite a bit of something to make up, unless McLaren have told them. Driving, it's drying very quickly. Piastri says, so he's saying already, maybe think about changing the tyres now. Unless McLaren have told them their drivers to create a gap, because they will likely have to double stack in the pits. Oh, that's very close between Sainz and who's that? The Haas of, is that Ocon? Yes, it is. Oh, and Ocon's back ahead. Yeah. So Sainz a little bit offline through the hairpin, and it just kind of compromised him coming out of that. Ocon straight back by him. Piastri fastest lap. Something flying around in the back. I think it's just a visor tear off. Hamilton saying the car won't turn, buddy. You should see Leclerc's car if you think yours won't turn. It's turning. I'm looking at him turn the car. I joke, but still. He's fucking struggled in that Ferrari, hasn't he? He's really, really, really struggled. Okay, replay of the start. So, very tentative start by everybody. Who's that? Hulkenberg had a terrible start in the mid. And look at Piastri, so he's kind of ahead. He's... I don't know. I don't know how to read his starts. I'm not exactly sure how to read how he does those sorts of things. How to put it? It's fine in some ways, it's not fine in others. Like, he can hold it there. He's entitled to take that line. He's got his position. You know, he can keep up on the start. But he really does look like, and he doesn't open the steering mid-corner, but he definitely goes in quick enough that he's going to go to the edge of the track on the exit of the corner. He isn't and I don't think he needs to leave a gap like that. I really don't think he needs to, but it's very forceful. Oh, here we go. FIA have noted it. The lap 1, turn 1 incident. But it's essentially the same as what happened in Jeddah. So I don't know why they've noted it now and they were fine with it last week. No, maybe they've just had a change of heart. It's a weird thing, like my visor is broken, I can't see, says Liam Lawson. That's a shame. Fuck, that's not something you'd want around here, good grief. So here we are, on board with Liam Lawson. Oh, no further investigation, so how about that? Okay, so they are okay with it then. So he's saying he can't see, his visor's broken. I wonder what he means, if it's just like fogging up, or if he's getting the water come through the visor tear-offs as well, like Stroll was having. Who knows, I guess it's one of those things that we'll see after the race. Verstappen out of position, noted. Oh dear. Now what is this? Now this is a replay of Sainz and Ocon, so Ocon just doing a little bit of the, just a little bit of the swapperoo at the hairpin, so yeah, saw that earlier. Nothing really to report there. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you'll think about Piastri, if you think it's on or not, because I think it's... How to put it? I think he's asking for... I don't think he's breaking any rules, and the FIA certainly doesn't. I don't think he's breaking any rules. I think it's a very forceful way of overtaking, but... I don't know. He's almost putting the guy on the outside in a position where he has to bail, which, you know, I mean, I guess that's just good racing, isn't it? I mean, it's if it's good for him, if you know what I mean. If it's good for him, then it's good racing out of him. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just sort of thinking like he will be getting a bit of a... Now what is this? No further investigation that he's out of position. Max Verstappen. So it looks like he's ahead, but maybe it's okay. Who's that? Antonelli going a little bit off. And he's back on track and it all looks okay. So here we go, lap 7 of 18. Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Still, Albon, Alonso, Lawson, Hadjar is your top 10. Remember, it's only the top 8 that score points. Alonso gunning, I think, for his first point of the season today. This is incredible to think about. I'm pretty sure that will be his first point. I can't remember him scoring points yet. Alonso's had a bit of a wretched season, to be honest. No luck. Car sucks. Just one of those years. It's almost like a McLaren year. What can you do? That side's going very, very deep. So he's tried to overtake Ocon into the hairpin, and he's totally cooked that one. That's a shame. Come on, Carlos. Come on, Carlos. You're better than that. What can you do, huh? Now, here we go. George Russell is really going to want to get past Kimi Antonelli. He looked genuinely stoked for him. Looked genuinely stoked for him after qualifying yesterday. Went over. It was the first guy there to congratulate him as soon as he pulled in. As soon as Antonelli had pulled into the pits. But you got to imagine Russell will just desperately want to finish ahead of him. Oh, Antonelli going a little bit deep there as well. That's what she said. Meanwhile, the interval, Piastri 3 seconds ahead of Norris out the front. Fucking stick a fork in this one, boys. It might be done. Now, it's lap 8 of 18. I think it's going to be getting very, very dry. That's what she said. It's going to be getting very dry very quickly. So this race is not done yet, assuming that they actually do switch to slicks. It's not going to be done yet, and Pirelli tyres, we know, do not like... Pirelli Inters, rather, really do not like running in the dry. They just shit themselves. They overheat, and they tear themselves apart, so you really can't be on it. Alright, Verstappen complaining about his visor as well. I wonder if it's just the humidity of the place. I mean, is it that much different than Singapore? Because they were racing at Singapore in the rain a couple of years ago, and I can't remember so much complaining about visors then. I mean, Lawson saying his visor's broken, and I don't know if he means that it's fogged up inside or if it's genuinely like coming off or something, but and Stroll had water coming in between the tear-offs of his, so it could be 3 different incidents and they all happen at once. Not sure. Anyway, look at those gaps forming at the front. My goodness. How's the track? Drying, not as quick as I thought. Says Piastri. Now, here we go. Lap 9. So we're halfway through this. Who pits? Who pits? That's basically what it comes down to now. If this were a regular sprint, it would already be over and we could just turn it off and assume that it's basically going to finish like this. But this, it's going to be touch and go. I think we will see guys on slicks. I'm not sure if we will see everybody, but I definitely reckon we'll see guys on slicks. If you're Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Bearman, why not just throw the dice? Even Sainz, throw the dice, see what happens. Because the pit stop will cost you a lot of time, but it's right now Inter is still faster than slick, but by a little bit, says Sainz. I reckon we're a couple of laps away from the slick, at least somebody trying it. And if I'm like Bortoletto doing Tsunoda, just go for it, just see whatever you can do. You could potentially, because that's Russell going very wide as well. You could potentially make up so much time, especially if other drivers near the front are staying on inters rather, and you're on a slick and the slick is faster and the track does try out. It's only going to get worse. The offset is only going to get worse. Like this, the slick will just be getting faster and faster and faster. The track will be getting drier, and the into will be falling apart harder and harder every single lap. So potentially you lose a pit stop worth of time, but potentially you could make up so much more time. Russell saying it's got a lot more pace, so he's saying to Mercedes, let me past Kimi Antonelli, and maybe I can go after Verstappen. That's what that's code for. Kimi, I think maybe move aside, mate. You cooked the first corner, and this will be your punishment. Don't do that again. So race controls just enabled DRS. I get the feeling you're going to see a slick runner, and I think it's going to be somebody at the back. Sainz has just gone past Ocon again. Is he actually going to keep it this time? Let's see. Bearman ahead of Gasly as well. It looks like Sainz has. It's getting close to slick, says Antonelli. Well. Oh, Red Bull, here we go. Tsunoda. So here we are, lap 11. Bam. Slick running already. I was thinking maybe it would be another lap or two, but this could... Now, Tsunoda is quite far behind. I don't think this is going to be for the win, but he definitely could jump up into the points here. It depends where everybody else wants to pit. Keep an eye on Verstappen, because Verstappen... Red Bull will know to the second what Tsunoda's doing in that car, and that will reflect with Verstappen. If they pit Verstappen, then I think everyone's going to go for it. Now, what's this? Bearman on Gasly in the hairpin. Decent pass. Good lad. Good lad. Now, here is Piastri. And Norris coming around the hairpin. Now, are they going to pit? Or are they just going to keep going? No, they both keep going through. What about Verstappen? What does he do? Verstappen goes through. And Red Bull were waiting in the pits for him. Hamilton, box. Okay, watch out for this then. So here we go. Now, Lewis is, what, about 17, 18 seconds behind the leaders. So that's a big gap. It's a big gap to make up. I don't know if this is going to be for the lead, but it definitely... Well, that's a slow stops too. That didn't look great. Stroll's in the pits. Sainz is in the pits. Now, what's Tsunoda doing? What's his times like? So Hamilton still stays ahead of Tsunoda. Stroll still ahead of Tsunoda. Sainz still ahead of Tsunoda. So it hasn't really done a whole lot for Yuki. Ooh, Piastri, what's happened? Norris is under a second behind him now. Okay then. And he's keeping it about 0.9 for the DRS as well. So here we go. Lando might be onto something here. Hamilton 15th now. So Hamilton, I think, is the one to watch here. Just in terms of pit lane games. Now, what's McLaren going to do? Does Norris take the initiative? Does he pit first? No, they both go through. And what's Verstappen going to do? I think Verstappen's pitting. Verstappen's pitting. That's it. You have to pit. You have to pit. Every team has to pit now. Antonelli is in. Yellow flag. Who's this? Sainz. Ah. Oh my gosh! What in the actual fuck? So I'm looking at the track map trying to find what that yellow is. I think it was Sainz just going off very quickly. In fact, Sainz is going very slow on the track, it looks. Antonelli and Verstappen have crashed in the pits. Have properly crashed in the pits like, who was it? Bourdais and Marco Andretti almost at Long Beach. Ah, that is Sainz going very slowly. Fuck. Ah, Get fucked. Nothing quite like sitting through a half-hour red flag to watch my guy, my man, Carlos Sainz hit the fucking wall. Oh, that's Piastri going off as well. So that's where Sainz would have gone off. Ah, wow. Okay then. So is there going to be a safety car? Okay, so here we go. Lap 13. It's all changed. Piastri, Norris, they are going to be coming up. But look at Norris. No, look at Russell. Sorry, look at Russell. He's not pitted yet. Oh, the gap's getting very, very low. Antonelli has pitted, but I think he's fucked now. And he's 25 seconds. So Piastri gets the call. Oh, that's Sainz pulling in with the fucked left rear. I think his race is done. Now, Lando has had to go around for another lap. I think he's going to be begging for a safety car. He's going to be begging for a safety car. That's George Russell in the pits. And that's Hamilton and everybody else going by him. So yeah, they waited way too long with Russell. Way, way, way too long. They've completely fucked him there. Awful. Now, Lando's going to be hoping that they put out a safety car. A lot of debris, yeah, on the radio. There he is. He's going to be begging for a safety car. He needs it now, now, now. He absolutely needs a safety car or else he's going way behind Piastri. The thing is, there actually is a bit of debris down there, so he's not lying. Oh, Hamilton around the outside of Verstappen, up to third place. There it is, I said, watch for Lewis. Oh. Verstappen, yeah, that's definitely a damaged front wing. And Norris he's in the pits now, so he is not going to get that safety car call. He's not going to be able to get it. Now, there is a yellow flag. Alonso! That's it! Big crash. That'll be it. That'll be it. I think that'll be it. Safety car. Safety car has been called. Safety car's been called. Norris is in the pits. Piastri's trying to catch him coming out of the pits. Is Lando going to get it? It looks like. It looks like he is. He's going to get it. Norris has been given the win. Unbelievable. Whew, okay, wow. So a lot's just gone on here. So where was that? Alonso 11-12 he's crashed. Now, Behrman crashed there yesterday. I wonder if it's a little bit like that. Well, they're not going to be able to go racing again. There's only 3 laps to go. I think that'll be it. I was just saying that Alonso was doing well. So, lap 15, safety car leads, then Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Verstappen, Albon, Russell, Stroll in 7th. Fucking hell. And then Liam Lawson in 8th, looking for his first points. His first point, I think, of the year. Behrman 9th, Tsunoda 10th. I think they went just a tiny bit too early with Tsunoda. Just a little bit too early. Then Antonelli, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Ocon, Bortoletto doing... I mean, look at all the names that Tsunoda did jump, and then look at the ones that jumped him, were the guys that pitted like a lap later, so, yeah. Although Stroll came in with Tsunoda as well, didn't he? I wonder if Yuki's had a little off then. Now, here we go. What is this? Science? Is he just gonna get... squirrely? Oh, he's clipped the fucking inside. Ah, bloody hell, he's clipped the inside, yeah, turn 14. So Science has just gone too tight into the wall and just smashed the fucking left rear of the car. Fuck. God damn it. That's a real shame. So, okay, so that's what happened to Carlos. Now, what the fuck happened to Alonso? Oh. Science just... kindly depositing his tyre at the end of the pit lane. Now, this is an onboard with Verstappen. Now, what is this? So they've just released him straight into the path. And Antonelli didn't pit. Verstappen, guys, come on the radio. Yeah, that was fucked. That was a total mess. That was fucking stupid, wasn't it? Jesus, Red Bull, what are you doing? Antonelli's upset on the radio, as he should be. It's some silly shit. Now, what is this? Ooh, that's Lawson. That's Lawson putting Alonso into a spin. So, and he's come from off the track as well. I think that'll be a penalty for Lawson then. Yeah, I think Lawson's going to be eating a penalty for that. It's a shame, because Fernando Alonso's eaten a wall for that. So they're side by side. Yeah, Lawson, it's a bit like Maldonado and Hamilton at Valencia all those years ago. He's just kind of come from off the track and just drilled him. And Alonso and Lawson don't have a great history either. Remember Lawson really catching Alonso's eye last year. Lap 16. Okay, so here's what I think's going to happen. Verstappen's going to eat a penalty. He'll probably drop out of the points. Lawson's going to eat a penalty. He'll drop out of the points, which means Behrman and Tsunoda probably will finish 7th and 8th in this race. Which means that Lance Stroll could end up finishing 6th, which is incredible. And Albon is 5th. That's insane. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, nobody can predict that Alonso is going to get smashed into a wall. But I look at everyone, and I think Norris was the last guy to pit as well, so nobody else held it out quite as long as Lando did. Well, as long as Lando was forced to, but it's a shame nobody else really went for that, because they could have locked into a win today. Again, hindsight's 2020 and all of that. Norris plus Miami equals safety car assisted win. Fuck, it looks that way, doesn't it? Alright. So, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Albon, Russell, Stroll, Behrman, Tsunoda. I think that will be the top 8 when the stewards have finished running through all of this. Hamilton just thanking Ferrari for the pit stop. It was good. He was the first of the front runners to try it. He was the first of the top, 6, top 7, top 8 to try it. And it looks like it's a total win. So good work, Hamilton. Good work, Ferrari. They've nailed that one. They've really nailed it. And I kind of wonder why Red Bull weren't as quick on it. Because Hamilton pitted the same lap as Tsunoda, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Alright, 10-second time penalty for Verstappen, unsafe release, and 10 seconds under a safety car is going to put him near the back of the field. Although if I'm Verstappen, maybe just... Or rather, if I'm Red Bull, I'm just telling Tsunoda to hold the rest of the pack up. Antonelli asking about Piastri. Usual turn 1. Is the radio call? Good to know, says Antonelli. That's what I was saying before. Piastri's getting a bit of a reputation for doing this now. Like, he will just send it up the inside and throw the other guy, kind of just squeeze him off the track. It's a bit... How to put it? It's a bit of one and a bit of the other. I can see why people would think it's fine, because you're the race leader, you know, if you're leading into the corner, if you're fighting side by side, and you can take the corner like that, then you've got a right to do it. But the other part of me thinks it's kind of going against the whole leaving racing room for the guy on the outside and things like that. Like, but then it's also, if you're beaten into the apex of the corner, maybe you should concede and maybe try to do a comeback sort of double back move like Alonso was doing. Not Alonso, sorry, like I suppose Alonso's done it in the past. It's a common thing, like Ocon was doing rather earlier in the race. Rose from Blackpink to wave the flag. Yeah, and that was it. So it did finish on the safety car after all. I mean, it was kind of obvious. There was a lot of debris and only a few laps left to run. I doubt that they would want to red flag this race any longer and finish it under green. A, it's a sprint, it doesn't matter. And B, we've already had a big ass red flag. So hey, how about that? We actually got the race in today. That was lovely. How hard it was raining before the sprint started, I was thinking that they might even have to cancel it, but shit, they found the window and it worked. So well done F1, well done Baku, well done Lando Norris with the win. Yeah, fuck, Lando already. Look at that helmet, he's already to get the party started. Piastri's going to be absolutely eating bees over this. He's going to be fucking sour as hell. Sour. More sour than a melon warhead. Absolutely spitting chips. You know, what Brundle's just saying now, that like, hey, ain't a sprint weekend actually kind of great for shit like this? Pit stops are good for this. And we actually had pit stops for the first time in that I can remember in a sprint, except for Spa a couple of years ago. And you get fucking pit stops in a Grand Prix, you know what I mean? So now Lawson, it says he's finishing 7th. I would wait. I think I would wait and see what's going to happen there, because for me that was coming from off the track and just wiping out Alonso. So I think he will eat a penalty for that. 5-10 seconds, whatever it is, it'll throw him out the points. There we go. 18 laps done. Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Albon, Russell, Stroll, Lawson for now, and Behrman, Tsunoda 9th, probably will finish 8th. Antonelli 10th in the end after starting on pole and getting thrown off the track, or pushed off the track really at the start, depending on how you want to view it, and then eating a lot of shit in that pit stop fuck up as well from Red Bull. Zach Brown full of smiles, as he would be. I think that was Ralf Schumacher behind him as well. Yeah, good work, Lando. You know, he was definitely behind Piastri on pace today, that's for certain. I'd love to see what happened that one moment where he closed up. I think Piastri was just sort of avoiding debris from Carlos Sainz, from his wreck there. And that's the only reason Lando really caught up to him at all. I think Piastri absolutely had Norris covered today, and sometimes you can be the quickest and you just lose for shit like this. That's F1. That's racing. That's sports. You know. So, regardless. So Piastri sounds a little bit defeated, a little bit annoyed. You would be. You know, it happens. This is why you need to be on it. This is why you need to be on it every single weekend, because you will have weekends where things like this happen. You have races where you do everything right and something else fucks up, which Lewis knows all about. Something else goes wrong and it totally fucks things. So it could fuck your weekend, it could fuck your championship, whatever. You have to be on it all the time. And Lando hasn't been on it lately, so it's good for him to get a win today. Let's see what this does, if this can light a fire under his ass and maybe reignite his championship push. Again, it's still very, very early in the season. But I do like seeing this. I like having these guys fighting tooth and nail, side by side, all year. The further this title fight goes on, the better. Because it's fun. Because it's very, very fun. Lando, a little bit ginger getting out of the car there. I think he knows that he kind of inherited this win, but buddy, just take them when they come, you know. That's it. It's still quite amicable between Piastri and Lando so far. We'll see if that lasts. You know, it wouldn't be the first time McLaren guys have completely fallen out over a championship season. It wouldn't even be the second, which is strange. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me. That was a fun sprint. That went for more than an hour, actually, so that was a very, very long sprint. Thanks for joining us. I think I've already gone through the point scores that matter. Now, Norris Piastri, great day for McLaren. I'm expecting this again in qualifying and probably for the race tomorrow. We'll see. Hamilton third. That's good for Hamilton. I bet you Leclerc's going to be fucking pissed off at that. He's going to be really sour about that. He's going to be looking at Hamilton and thinking, I should have started ahead of you. I should have been on the podium as well. So that's a shame. Charles shocked Leclerc. That's a shame. Oh well, maybe next time. Albon fourth, great result for Williams. Absolutely great. They've been nailing that a lot this year, actually. Just especially Alex Albon, just picking up points at every opportunity. I get the feeling that car is going to start dropping like a stone over the year because they're basically not putting anything new on it. We'll see what other teams do compared to them, but that's really, really good for Williams. Russell fifth, waited too long at the pit stop. Waited too long, which is a shame. Stroll sixth. You know, a lot of people want to clown on him, and I can see why they would. But there's Stroll in sixth, and he's picked up all of Aston Martin's points this year, so good work. Good work, Lance. Liam Lawson seventh for now. Romain Grosjean doing the interviews, so I guess he's not needed at Barber this weekend. And Ollie Behrman eighth. Tsunoda ninth. That'll be points. Decent recovery actually from Tsunoda. I want to see what else happened to him because he pitted with Stroll. Well, he was the same lap as Stroll and Hamilton. Now Hamilton was way ahead, but no, Hamilton just must have had one lap extra on his tyres. But Tsunoda was the first to pit. Stroll came in with him, and Stroll finished sixth, and Tsunoda finished ninth. So I'd love to see what happened there. Antonelli, unlucky. Gasly, Alpine struggles again. Hulkenberg, meh. Hadjar 13th, so yeah, dropped a little bit like a stone there, which is a shame. Ocon, Bortoletto, Doohan, Verstappen, way at the back. Well, that's it. Not much else to say. Thanks for joining me. It's been nice to actually get to do this again. It's been the longest fucking time, it feels like, since I got to talk shit during a race, so loved it. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you had fun. I'll see you again. I'll be here again tomorrow. I'll try to summon whatever energy I can for that hour of the day, but oh goodness. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow. Ta-ta. Bye for now.